And we're back in the ladies' room with finally the stars have aligned. Tracy Rogers, consulting astrologer, certified life coach, activist. She's in the building.
Yes. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is just listening to you and just the tea on all of the celebrities and their signs. And yes, I was ready to jump into this conversation.
What was your take on the whole J-Lo conversation?
Yeah. So her ex-husband, Mark Anthony, whom is the husband she was married to the longest, I believe, out of all of her men's.
Yeah.
Her men's. He's a Virgo. And so I wonder if that's why she is like no to the Virgos when she's doing concerts. And you would think she'd want a Virgo on her team because, yes, they are very hardworking. They're very meticulous. But I think Mark Anthony scarred her.
That could be
I
it.
don't know.
That is some really good intel.
It's juicy.
Yeah.
It's very juicy. We like it. We like it.
Now, when it comes to astrology, what is astrology?
Astrology is the practice of looking at all of the planets in the sky to interpret how our lives are affected. So most people, they know zodiac signs, they read horoscopes, but what a lot of folks don't know is that when you're born, you have a sun sign, you have a moon sign, you have a Mercury sign, Venus, Mars, all the planets are in different zodiac signs, and each planet means something specific to your personality. That's what astrology is.
So how can it help people by knowing these intimate details of the planets?
You know, I always say whenever I do an analysis reading of someone's full chart, I like to explain it as a way of just generating more self-awareness that leads to radical self-acceptance. I think whenever I give a chart analysis reading, folks usually walk away feeling more affirmed. I'm never telling someone anything they don't already know. And if anything, astrology can give you a language of, oh, this is why I'm this way, or this is why I struggle with this, or this is why I feel challenged here, but in a way that's very accepting and self-forgiving and not shaming and self-critical. So I think that's where astrology can be really helpful.
I love that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
How did you realize that this was your calling?
You know, the stars are aligned. That's all I can say. I was on a totally different career track before I started building my practice. And I usually tell folks a series of very random but fortunate events led me here. I grew up surrounded by other astrologers and tarot readers. I can tell stories of when my mom would take me to the psychic in Center City. So I was always kind of growing up in this energy anyway. It was never anything I aspired to, but here we are.
Fantastic.
Here we are. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have been talking about Mercury being in retrograde.
Yes. Ooh.
And we can say it, but what does it really mean?
So all of the planets in our solar system do what's called retrograde. And a retrograde planet gives the optical illusion of orbiting the sun backwards.
But it doesn't really.
It doesn't really. It's just an illusion. And when that happens, the things that that planet represents in astrology go a little funky. And so Mercury is the planet that retrogrades the most every year, about 3 to 4 times a year. So people are at least familiar with the phrase Mercury retrograde, but you'll feel it. You'll feel it too. In astrology, Mercury connects us to what keeps us connected. So transportation, infrastructure, technology, the gadgets that we own. So whenever this planet is retrograde, our cars break down.
Okay.
Our Uber driver cancels our reservation.
Wow.
There are misunderstandings. Emails don't get sent. Miscommunication. So it's a bunch of minor nuisances that, you know, are very frustrating.
Now, you mentioned also it could be in romance.
Can
How
be in
so?
romance too. Well, when you think of the word retrograde, it's the RE part of the word is the most important, right? So you're revising, you're reassessing, you're rethinking, you're reconfiguring, you're re-strategizing. And so even when it comes to romance, you may find that during Mercury retrograde, and of course this will be more specific based off of where it's happening in your unique astrological birth chart, but former flames may come back into the picture.
If you have something to share,
Somebody did hit me
Well,
up. And
listen, I looked at your chart. I have things to tell you.
oh my goodness.
FYI. it could also not be related to love. If you're reconsidering a career change, or if you are, wanting to make a major purchase, typical rule of thumb with Mercury retrograde is to keep living your life, of course, but try not to jump into anything serious or make any major conclusions or decisions until after the planet begins to move forward again.
Wow.
Okay, and that's going to be
August
after
11th.
Yes,
August 11th.
It's going to take time for the little planet to catch up to where it was before it stationed retrograde. That will happen later on in August. But this planet stations direct August 11th, and then it will be the latter half of August when things start to feel normal again.
Okay, so can I ask you, when was the last time that Mercury was in retrograde?
That one was a doozy because Venus was also retrograde the same time Mercury was retrograde.
Okay.
And this was around, I want to say mid-March, around March 13th to about the beginning of April was the last time Mercury was retrograde.
And Venus is the planet of
love and money.
Oh.
Ooh, so then what happens
both
then?
retrograde at the same time.
Oh.
With
Love and
Venus
money.
retrograde, you're definitely going to have some romantic hiccups and back and forth, but also with money and finances as well. And to have that retrograde along with Mercury retrograde, that was a doozy. That was a doozy.
The double
To have them
whammy.
both- double whammy.
And what type of things happen for clients or, that you know of?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, this was actually around the time when the massive layoffs were happening with the federal government. So a lot of my clients during that time, they were either considering negotiating agreements and other types of contracts with their employers, or they were trying to figure out, do I want to stay? Is it time to leave? There was confusion. Is this job being eliminated? People were sent away and then called back after the layoff. So that was what I was hearing the most from my clients during that time.
What is the main topic or question that your clients come in to ask you for when it comes to their astrology?
A lot of love.
Okay.
A lot of folks want to know essentially what I often describe as their attraction factor. So what types of partner would be good for me, or what kind of relationship would I thrive in? I do a lot of couples readings as well. But then I also get a lot of the typical life stuff, like what types of careers would be well suited for me, or is this the time to make a big move and transition in my life? That's usually the thing. Those are usually the things that folks come to me for.
When you look at their birth chart, if you do something that in depth, can you kind of guide them in the sense, like, I know with some of their decisions, but is there a psychic ability in there too?
That's a really good question. The short answer is no, but I'm very intuitive, and I've also been doing this for a very long time. And there are certain things in a chart where I can say, yes, you should absolutely do this. Yes, this is the right time, or no, I'd wait. Some things are, in fact, pretty straightforward. But that's not how I approach my readings. It's really important that when folks come to me, their free will is still intact. So I'm going to give you guidance and information based on how planets are affecting you. It's up to you what you want to do with that information. That's my approach.
Well, you have our birth charts,
I do.
mine and Cam's, and we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to see what Tracy has to say.
Okay.
We'll be right back. You're watching the Ladies Room.
Back in the Ladies Room, where the most authentic conversations occur with Tracy Rogers, our special guest for today. Keeping along with the theme of astrology, we are asking you guys on the Go Vote, do you think your astrological sign defines you? Yes, somewhat, or I don't believe in astrology. 50% of you guys say somewhat, and then we're split up for second place with 25% yes, and I don't believe in it. When people talk about, astrology and your zodiac sign, it really is more detailed. That's the part that really defines you, right? Not really just...
Not just your zodiac sign.
But you do horoscopes.
I do write horoscopes, yes.
Every week. And so that is kind of like a general or broader?
It's, both.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're a Leo and you're reading the horoscope that I write for Leo for the week, that's for all Leos. And as well as if you have your rising sign in Leo, which that's another layer that I'll have to come back next week.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause we don't that's like a graduate course. Yeah.
But when I do readings, I am specifically looking at the birth chart. So the information I give during a reading is information that's specific to the person. It's not general, it's not broad, it's specific to the person.
And what do you need for a birth chart?
To create a birth chart, I need someone's time of birth, I need their place of birth, and I need their date of birth.
Okay. And so I didn't have my time of birth, but you still made me a chart.
I did.
Cam has her time of birth, so hers is more intricate.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I can give Cam a bit more specific information because I have her time of birth.
Okay.
Yeah. Not to say that I can't give you some information, but
when you were looking, were there things that was just kind of like, oh, or anything that shocked you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Let's get into it.
Well, and so you mentioned, or at least you didn't say it, but you kind of hinted at a former person with Mercury retrograde re-entering the picture.
Yes.
And when I looked at your chart, I noticed that the planet Jupiter, which is a planet that can bring a lot of positive energy. Jupiter is very much this benevolent influence that expands whatever it touches. And this planet right now is affecting you in the area of your chart that has to do with love. And romance and creativity and child's play and children. And this is actually something that just started for you around the close of June. So this is a very new influence, and it's going to be in effect for a year.
That's great, Cam.
So,
wait, can I tell you something?
Please.
I just applied for Love is Blind.
Oh, you're kidding.
And everybody in the newsroom is like,
my goodness.
Cam, like, we want you to do this. Like, you would be so good for the show. And, like, I just think, like, it would be nice to do a show like that.
Well, yes. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius in astrology. I know you have the sign, the tattoo of the sign, the symbol. But Jupiter is your ruling planet.
Right.
So that's like a double luck charm for you.
Oh, that's crazy.
And in effect for the entire year.
Well, you know what? When are they picking the
it's around
candidates?
It's around this time. It didn't give a date or anything.
So soon you'll find out if you got the show?
Yeah.
So this could be in the cards,
great.
in the stars.
For you.
Or it could just be an old flame or just something new.
Yes, and you also do have some really stellar relationship activity that's playing out for you throughout the rest of the summer and into the fall. So whether it's Love is Blind or a new person, new partner, you got some good energy here.
Okay.
Wow, I could tell you do though, Cam. And in the relationships, could that be friend relationships as well? Or is it mainly romance for her?
No, it's going to be mainly romance because there's the area of the chart that centers romance and affection and joy, and then there's the area of the chart that centers relationships. And you've got important activity happening in both areas.
Wow.
So I would interpret that as romance. Yes.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Yes.
This is going to be a fun year, Cam.
I will. What did you find from Kathy's chart?
So for Kathy, it's interesting because you shared a lot about what you've learned about being a Libra and how some of it resonates and some of it may not. But what a lot of folks actually don't know about Libra is that this is a sign that I often describe as the social justice warrior of the zodiac. Libras are very convictional people. These are folks that feel very strongly about a cause. These are folks that are not afraid to advocate for the underdog or the marginalized groups. And even though Librans tend to present as rather amenable and cooperative and nice and agreeable, if a Libra spots an injustice, you don't want to mess with a Libra. You don't want to mess with a Libra.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that energy in your chart. You were born with a couple of placements in the sign of Pisces, which is a sign that is very empathic, very intuitive, very spiritual by nature. And when I looked at your chart, I saw the Libra and I thought, wow, like this is a woman who's very, very moral, high integrity, but also a person that feels the weight of the world on your shoulders. And because you're a Libra, which is very light and again, airy and kind, no one would know this. No one would know just how much you can sense the struggles and the suffering of others given your Pisces placements. You have Scorpio placements too. And so when I saw your chart, I thought there's a lot beneath the surface of this person that not a lot of people know unless they really, really know you. So I thought that was powerful to see in your chart as well. I don't know if that resonates, but
it does. That's amazing.
You are definitely empathic, and I think, and you care a lot about a lot of people, and in our private conversations, I get that. But when you come off the way you come off, it is definitely light and fun. But like when you get down to the deep part of you, that is,
we can get deep.
Absolutely.
We can get very deep.
And you also, I'm sorry, I was going to say, you also have your moon in Capricorn, which the moon in astrology describes just how we navigate our feelings and emotions. And Capricorn is a very anchored, embodied energy. So I like that Capricorn influence juxtaposed the Libra and the Pisces and the Scorpio, because where you can feel it all, your moon in Capricorn is a beautiful anchor for you.
Okay.
And I think that the universe intended it that way for you specifically. So those were the things that stood out most about your chart.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, can we put up Kathy's chart one more time? I just wanted to kind of go over the birth chart. I know you said the coloring is very important. How do you read something like this?
You learn. You definitely have to learn. And it's funny because I'm actually teaching astrology camp right now. And you have to learn the symbols, and you have to learn the planets, and you have to learn all of the lines in the chart and what it means. Kathy's chart looks a little different from yours, Cam, because we don't have her time of birth. But Cam's chart, if we put that up, shows the specific sections, those 12 pie-shaped sections that correlate to what's known as the astrological houses in the chart. That's, again, what is cast when we have your time of birth. Okay, so that's what's missing from Kathy's chart.
We're gonna have to get that time of birth to you.
And when you do, just let me know, and we will pull it up. But yes, it's just, I've been studying this for years, learning some aspect of astrology since I was a kid. So this is reading a chart. It's like learning another language that I'm pretty good at.
That's amazing.
Very good at you. Yeah, you pretty much nailed it.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break, but then we want to talk a little bit more about how you use this to help people in life coaching and how it influences your activism.
Okay, yeah.
We'll be
thank
back
you.
with Tracy right after this. And welcome back to the Ladies Room, where we're having a great conversation about astrology, and Tracy Rogers is our expert. Tracy, we know that there's major transitions in people's lives, especially with Saturn's return. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I describe the Saturn return similar to the solar return, just to help folks understand. The Saturn return happens when the planet Saturn in the sky returns to where it was when we were born. So just like every year, Kathy, in October, you have a birthday, the sun's in the sign of Libra, that's your solar return. Sun's in the sign of Sagittarius, every December, you have a birthday, that's your solar return. So it's the same thing. The only difference is that it takes Saturn about 29 and a half years to return to where it was when we were born. So we all have a Saturn return every 29 and a half years, almost 30 years. And the Saturn return is a very transitional time. I think of the first Saturn return as the "oh my God, I'm almost 30" crisis. There are some general manifestations during the first one. A lot of people get married for the first time, start families, move into big careers. And then there are more specific experiences you'll have depending on where Saturn is in your chart. So that's where, again, a natal reading gives you more detailed information. The second Saturn return is, okay, I've done all the adulting thing. Kids are out of the house, thinking about retirement. Also very transitional. And so the Saturn return is a very well-known event in folks' lives because of its significance and the impact on just change and growth.
And that would be between like 58 and 60 years old.
That's the second Saturn return.
Yeah, and that is a big transition time because that's when all that stuff happens.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So how do you use all this information to help people in life coaching?
Well, my experience has been that folks will get a reading and then they'll say, oh, this is great. Now what? What do I do with all of this information? And so that's actually what motivated me to get certified as a life coach, because I wanted that training and that skill set to really help folks and be of service, using astrology, of course, but with that supplemental extra support. And so it's a beautiful bridge of the two. And I find that folks gain the most from their readings when they're able to get that coaching component as well.
Mm-hmm. So you would say, based on my chart, is this a good time to take a new job, maybe start expanding my dating search, like different things like that?
Absolutely. And even going a bit deeper than that, if there are challenges, if there are fears that someone is facing with making a big transition, like finding a new job or getting back into the dating world, that's where the coaching piece can be really helpful. And I try to emphasize, I'm not a licensed therapist. What I do as a coach is help people remember their power. I just remind you that you already have the answers. You already know what to do. I'll nudge you, I'll challenge you, I'll hold you accountable the whole time so that you can go off and do your thing. And then eventually, hopefully, folks will say, great, I don't need you anymore. My job's done.
So along with you being an astrologer, a life coach, you're also an activist. And we had a little bit of a conversation about how history repeats itself a little bit. Is there truth to that when it comes to the signs and the stars, I should say?
Absolutely, absolutely. Right now, if we were to take a snapshot of where some of the outer planets are currently, and the outer planets are those planets farthest from the sun, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they take really long times to orbit the sun. If we were to do a snapshot to see where Pluto is in the sky today, Pluto right now is in the same portion of the sky, same constellation as it was 250 years ago during the American Revolution. If we were to do a snapshot and see where is Uranus today, Uranus is in the same part of the sky as where it was 84 years ago during the Second World War. The time before then was during the Civil War. So we're seeing these planets transit areas of our universe that align with historical moments in our time, reflection points in our history. And while that doesn't mean that we're having another American Revolution or we're having another Civil War, we are seeing these flames fanned right now.
Is this why the American Eagle ad ran?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's quite interesting that it's related in a way.
I would be curious what Sydney Sweeney's sign is. Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right, a little Google.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Scary a little bit.
It is scary, and any astrologer will tell you, we track these things. I mean, we were tracking COVID before we knew it was COVID. And there's something to be said, because I think history is our greatest teacher. So we can track these transits and say, oh, the last time this happened was X. So we can prepare ourselves for what to do next going forward. And it's still also happening in real time, and we're all impacted by it. So that part, it's a little trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something's coming. Like for COVID, for example, there was something.
Oh, yeah.
What was the sign?
Oh, there were a few things that were happening simultaneously, and it was interesting because I had never seen a year like COVID. I give annual readings at the beginning of every year. I had never seen a year like 2020, so even I was like, what is this?
Wow.
And if you ask any of my clients who got a reading in 2020, they will tell you that I let them know, FYI, I don't know what this is going to look like, but prepare yourself.
Wow.
So
great advice.
And I wasn't the only astrologer. Many astrologers were tracking what we know now as COVID.
We have about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
You also do, baby astrology books.
I do, which is my favorite thing. Yes, I write baby astrology books. These are handwritten, professionally published, hardcover baby books that tell you about your child based on their astrological makeup. And it's my favorite thing to do.
Well, we will definitely put all your links on our website.
you.
Thank you so much, Tracy
Thank you,
Rogers.
Tracy, for joining the
very
ladies.
much.
Yeah,
This
we'll
was
see
so
you
much
again next
fun.
week.